world's about to break. Tormented and attacked, lost from when we wake, with no way to go back. I'm standing on my own, but now I'm not alone.
Hello everyone, thanks so much for joining me here today as we get to talk about one of my favorite subjects, comic books. My name is Jose, I love comic books, I love talking about them, I love sharing them with you. Feel free to follow me on social media if you would like, links are in the description below. I've also posted links to the Marvel fan page with links to this story that'll give you plot synopsis and character bios. We are going to be looking at Avengers 279 from 1987. I love this cover. There's just something about it. I am a huge fan of the inks of Tom Palmer Sr. Rest in peace. And there's something about this Thor uniform. The coloring, it's blue. It's probably the same shade of blue as Captain America's helmet, but and him just holding the hammer straight ahead. That's so cool. But this cover, I absolutely love. John Buscema, of course, is the penciler. Tom Palmer uses a lot of screen tones, and here he is doing some screen tones there. Buscema almost adding all the scales to Captain America's uniform. So, and adding all these scales to Thor's armor. I am covering Walt Simonson's run on Thor currently. And if you want to know why he's wearing an armor, check that out. It is not a costume change for the sake of a costume change. So, all right. So we're going to pick up kind of where we left off. So we started this with the Under Siege story arc. That's where we jumped on into Avengers. And then we're going to continue going through Assault on Olympus. So, I'm also going to be covering, I'm covering the Iron Man run on during this time. So I'm covering Iron Man and Captain America and Thor and the Avengers all in this era. So feel free to check those out. So we have Captain Marvel here. Monica Rambeau was Captain Marvel during this time. And so we're in a Atlanta neighborhood. So, and it says here that this was a nice neighborhood, but that was before Joshua Lanning began to hear voices. So we have the police. You can see they're shooting, or this guy's shooting here. So this is like bullet trajectories. And you can see that it's heading here. So, and here are the credits. Jim Shooter toward the end of his run. Mark Grenwell, rest in peace. Tom Palmer, rest in peace. And John Buscema, rest in peace. Roger Stern is still with us. I don't know about any of these other people. So, Captain Marvel says, what's going on? And he goes, oh, who are you? Where'd you? And then he says, get down. And then she says, I'm Captain Marvel of the Avengers. And the guy's like, yeah, sure. Look, lady, there's a man inside holding a gun on his wife and kids. I've got no time to kid around playing trick or treat. Doesn't believe her. Understood, but I'm not a kid. I'm not kidding. Hold your fire. Let me see what I can do. And so she disappears. She's able to go at the speed of light, which is really fast. So people that are so powerful like that, like, what's the point? They can win every battle. So, all right. So the wife is like, Joshua, please, I know you've been having problems, but don't hurt little Josh and Annie. I have no problems now, demon. My eyes have been opened, and I see you for what you are. The Lord God has spoken to me. Rise up, he said. Put an end to the evil spirits that oppose me. And of course, Captain Marvel has showed up. And he says, listen to her. She speaks the truth. Lies, more lies. I will not listen to the agents of Satan. And starts to shoot at Captain Marvel. But of course, she makes herself intangible. And so, you're mistaken, Joshua. I'm no agent of Satan. Put down your weapons. You still stand. You're not wounded. You're an angel. I'm a friend who's come to help you. So, get up off your knees and come with me. I'll take you to people who will help you. Yes, I must follow the light to salvation. So, he ends up getting arrested here. So, she asked how the wife and kids are, and they said they're fine. They had to calm the missus down, and the sister, who's the aunt, are going to be taking care of the kids. So, after after all that, she ends up leaving. So, the guys still can't believe they met an Avenger. So, all right. So in New Orleans, these are Monica's parents. They're watching the television. Again, look at all these screen tones here. Just so cool. And Monica appears. She said they got done. They had a meeting with the Avengers, and it was adjourned early. And the dad goes, did something go wrong in your meeting? And she says, not really wrong, just unexpected, starting with the Wasp announcing that she was resigning as Avengers chairwoman. After nominating Dr. Druid for membership, Wasp surprised us by turning the gavel over to Captain America and leaving active duty. Cap, bless him, got right down to business. The ayes have it. Welcome to the Avengers, Dr. Druid. Thank you, Captain. Thanks, all of you. Now, do we have any nominations for chairman? And Captain America asked Captain Marvel, and she goes, I nominate you, Cap. Wasp named you acting chairman with good reason. You're clearly the best qualified. And he says thank you, but he can't accept it. His obligations to nationwide telephone hotline don't leave him enough time to devote to leading the Avengers. And he says, besides, we have another excellent choice. And he says that the Black Knights, sorry, I gotta keep going down here. And he wants to nominate Captain Marvel as a new chairperson. Now, real quick, I want to focus. The eyes are not good. If you're looking, he looks a little cross-eyed there, but it's just a short little thing here. So Captain America nominates Captain Marvel, and the Black Knight seconds the motion, and he says, well then, and he says that she's honors, and she does want to lead the Avengers someday, but that she doesn't feel she's ready. And she then tells her parents that the nomination really took surprise, or really surprised her. So she says she could feel Dr. Druid's eyes on her, and he says, the things I could accomplish were I to lead the Avengers. If only new members were allowed to take their office during their probation. If only new members were allowed to take office during their probationary period, but no matter, I shall bide my time. And so Thor says, if there be any doubts in your mind, Captain, then certainly you should rule yourself out. Thor then says, I myself am beset by many concerns these days, but if need be, I shall again accept the mantle of leadership. And then She-Hulk says, if Captain Marvel doesn't want to be chairwoman, okay, but I'm not sticking around to sit back and let you discourage her. just so you can grab the job. I don't care if you are wearing a more boilerplate than Iron Man these days. You're sure you're not going to bully anyone while I'm around. By the way, I absolutely love this armor. And so Captain America's like, "Hey, that's enough." And Thor's like, "Mind your tongue, She-Hulk." And you can see him hitting the gavel. So they moved on and said they would discuss it in the next meeting, and that she would let them know his decision by the next one. So the dad's like, he's still glad that he came to them to talk things out. And then there's a lot of words here, but essentially, um, they're saying, that she'd make a great leader, and she looks for excuses why she can't do it. But, like he says, you can go into business at any time, that kind of stuff. So part of the reason she wants to go business with her dad. So the next morning, here we have She-Hulk. So kind of funny here. She says, "If I'd known the Avengers had glom onto such a great beach, I would have been back weeks ago. This may not be Malibu, but it's the best I've seen since I came east." So, and then here's the Black Knight kind of getting a workout, hacking at this boulder. So, and so she asks how he's doing. He says, "Oh, fine. Just practicing a little precision swordsmanship." So she claps him for what he's done. He ended up destroying that board. And so they talk a little bit about the situation, and Dr. Druid, of course, is nosy, so he kind of walks up to them, and suddenly this creature comes out, and She-Hulk jumps to get it, but goes right through it. And this is dual shades, probably some zipatones that were put in here to make it a little bit less than what the inking would have done. And so that creature, of course, was a projection of Dr. Druid, and he finds it very funny. And she's like, "Real funny. I enjoy a good gag as much as anyone, but watch your step. You might not like my sense of humor." So she walks away with him still smiling. So later, Captain Marvel is going to visit Moonstone, who's at the hospital after the events of Under Siege, which I have covered. I do have an Avengers playlist, so feel free to check it out. She tells Moonstone, Moonstone tells her, "Did you come to gloat?" And she's like, "Moonstone, I didn't mean for you to." And then, of course, they get a recap. Essentially here, the Masters of Evil had them, and, she can't believe that this is the way it ends. It's Baron Zemo's fault. If she'd been in charge, things would have turned out much more different, she says. But she lets her know that it is her fault that she broke her neck. She's the one that panicked and went down that cliff. And she wouldn't be a good leader because she just blames someone else. And she says, "Goodbye, you'll heal, but with your attitude, you'll never be well." So she thinks, met people like her, they want flash and glory, but they don't want the responsibilities. And that visiting Moonstone was a waste of sympathy. And there are probably better things that she could have done. So she visits Hercules, who is in a coma during this time. Love this external here, just showing the hospital kind of looking from out. And so he hasn't been responsive. He was just beaten up by the oh my goodness gracious, the Wrecking Crew. Of course, he's chauvinistic, and she wonders what he would think of another woman leading the Avengers. So, she leaves, but he begins to awaken and speaks in Greek. He is, after all, a Greek god. So we get to an abandoned oil rig in the Gulf of Mexico where she used to work. So we're gonna get a recap of her origin. Feel free. I'm not gonna read all this. Feel free to go into that Marvel database if you'd like to um, learn more about her origin. So so basically how she ended up becoming the new Captain Marvel. Very nice panel here. Love it. So this issue doesn't have too much action. It's basically a lot of introspective and a lot of shouldn't I, that kind of stuff. Um, but she's already feeling the pressures, and she's not even the she hasn't even accepted that job yet. So um, love the screen tones here with a little bit of the ink on the side. Oh, it's just so cool. Um, they do this with Iron Man too. Bob Layton especially does a lot of screen tones. So there was a collapse in one of the caverns, and Captain America is joining the effort to try and rescue the people. And Captain Marvel has come to see if she can be of help. And that there are 7 people that are lost somewhere in the dark. So, and here are the people. And so Captain Marvel finds them and helps move them out of the way. You can see Captain America. There's another quake. This isn't the Appalachians, but I don't know. That's okay. Doesn't mean they don't get earthquakes, but so they go down, and so Captain America needs to think fast. But here comes Captain Marvel, and Captain America is gonna help him, and lifts one of the kids first. Then they're gonna work on the second, and now the third. And so why can't she use her power? Maybe she because she become intangible, maybe. I think so. So she uses her power. She can't help the kid. So Captain America is able to get her. Captain Marvel falls, but of course she's got her powers, so she's okay. And so everyone's been rescued, and they interview them, or they want to interview. And so here's the mom, and thank Captain America says thank you for showing up. So she says that he's lucky that she showed up when she did. Otherwise, the kids might not have been able to get the kids. And she says, the luck was in you being around, Cap. I came here looking for you. He says, why? I need to talk to you. I've been trying to decide if the constant pressures of leadership are worth it. But I just got my answer. If your nomination still stands, I accept. A wise decision, Madam Chairwoman. And so we get to the end here, and we get a figure meant to look like Thor. So it could be Thor, it could not, but it could be. And it says Hercules. And poor misbegotten fool, is this what has become of you? And grabs Hercules. And here's the sensors going off, and she looks and says, good heavens, someone is kidnapping Hercules. And next issue, the fate of Jarvis. So she's seeing that thing that looks like Thor. So Avengers 279 from 1987 by Roger Stern, John Buscema, and Tom Palmer. Not a very exciting issue per se. A lot of introspective, but here we go. So it's getting ready to ramp up for the Assault on Olympus storyline, which we will go through, and then the Avengers versus X-Men, the first Avengers versus X-Men. So, like and subscribe, and thanks for listening. Goodbye.